Good morning, Garth. How are you today?
I'm very well. How are you?
I'm doing great. It's wonderful getting this chance to talk to you this morning. We're here today to talk about Giving Tuesday, which is the global day for giving back. Last year, as you know, people donated more than $19 million to charity on that date alone. This year, the health data sharing website Patients Like Me is asking for a different kind of donation, a donation of health information. The idea is for patients to share their data so that others can benefit. And I'm really glad that you're here today to help explain to my readers in greater detail all about this program. So, Garth Callaghan, the author of the new book called Napkin Notes, can you first tell us about your own diagnosis and the Napkin Notes concept?
Sure. So I'll start with the napkin notes concept because that came first. I started writing notes to my daughter when she was very young in kindergarten, and I really wanted to make her lunch a little bit special and wrote a note back then. They were very simple in the beginning, things like have a good day or I love you. And as she grew older, the notes became a little bit more in depth and had more meaning. And so I'd been writing notes for such a long time. And when my daughter was in 6th grade, I was diagnosed with cancer. And unfortunately, over the course of the following 3 years, I would be diagnosed with cancer a total of 4 times. And each time was more difficult than the previous. And also each time I started to think about how much those napkin notes meant to us as a family. So part of the reason why I write napkin notes is to help encourage my daughter to make great decisions, help her to grow up to be a very strong, confident young woman, and really to be a great person and a good friend. The book itself takes the reader through my journey as both a dad and a cancer patient. And in the end, what I want people to come away from after they finish the book is you really shouldn't wait until your doctor looks you in the eye and gives you a tough diagnosis before you start to build those strong relationships with your friends and family. The way I choose to do it is with napkin notes. And there are a lot of different ways that you can choose to do it. You could write a note and leave it on your bathroom mirror. My wife writes notes to me and she leaves them on my car seat, which is great. Just as I'm getting ready to leave the house for work, maybe I'm grumpy or maybe I'm rushed and I see a note from her on my seat and it says, "Hey, have a great day, I love you." What a way to change my attitude for that morning.
Those are wonderful ways. You're right. They would be very much attitude changing. Can you give me some examples of some of the notes you have written for your daughter?
Oh, sure. So sometimes when I write notes, I look to others for inspiration. I try to use the greats like Mr. Rogers and Dr. Seuss. Dr. Seuss has a great note that I've written quite a few times, which is why fit in when you were born to stand out? And then some of the notes that I write are more personalized. And one of Emma's favorite notes is a reminder of a time when she was playing on the playground with her friend Colin. And the note says, "Dear Emma, remember the time on the jungle gym when Colin looked up at you and said, 'I'll save you, Emma,' and you looked down at him and said, 'I'll save myself.' Be that girl."
Oh, I love that.
Well, and
So I suppose, yeah.
yeah, the great thing about that is that that's the type of woman that I really want my daughter to grow up to be. And she loves that note because that's exactly the type of girl she was.
Right, and it's a nice reminder. I suppose Emma has a nice collection of all these napkins saved somewhere.
Well, so although she did start saving them, actually she started saving them after my first cancer diagnosis, unbeknownst to me actually. And what we've tried to do as a family now is we recognize a couple of things. One is that the napkin notes are often biohazards after they come back from lunch, and that they are not really
I
salvageable.
suppose.
So we try to save the ones that we can, but we take a picture every day before she goes off to lunch. That way we have a catalog of what we've done.
Okay, that's a wonderful way of doing that. I mentioned this to my children. There are 6 children in this house who have gotten napkin notes from time to time, but nothing of the inspiration notes that you write to your daughter. So they were quick to point out to me that they never get notes like that. So it's definitely an idea that I'm going to have to take to heart.
It's never too late to start.
Yes. Today is actually Giving Tuesday, even though this blog post will go up within the week. But can you tell me what is different about the Global Giving Tuesday this year?
Sure thing. So historically, Giving Tuesday has been a way for people to think about their favorite charities or their local nonprofits and donate time or money to those organizations. Patients Like Me this year would like people to consider taking an extra step. So after you've helped out your favorite charity, Patients Like Me would like you to consider to become a member. Log into patientslikeme.com and start logging your medical information and donate that information to the greater community. One of the great reasons to do that is a patient like me, Garth, who has both kidney cancer and prostate cancer. I have a lot of very difficult medical decisions that I have to make almost on a daily basis. And the more information I have, the more information that my doctors have, the better choices we can make.
So can you tell us what the 24 Days of Giving campaign hopes to accomplish then?
Absolutely. So there's 24 days right now between now and December 25th. And ultimately, we would like as many people as possible to consider giving. And whether you, like I said earlier, whether you give to your local charity or you help out your neighbor and giving back to your community, you could also consider giving your data and helping people who are like me or other patients better make decisions on a daily basis. And you don't have to have something as drastic or as severe as cancer. It could be something like psoriasis or eczema. Patients Like Me actually started out as a couple of brothers trying to help the third brother who had ALS. And that's really how this whole organization started. Two brothers trying to help another brother.
Okay. Well, then how can people get involved?
The best way is to open up your computer browser or your smartphone and go to patientslikeme.com and create a membership profile.
What is it that people should know if they want to get involved?
They really should know that it's super easy. It's not something that's incredibly difficult. It's as easy as setting up a profile on your favorite social networking site. And then secondly, when you do that, you're really helping patients who need help. It's a way to give back that's very painless and it doesn't take a lot of time.
It does sound very painless. You know, it doesn't take money. It doesn't even take a whole lot of time. But what about people feeling that it might be an invasion of their privacy? Is there something to protect them?
Absolutely. So Patients Like Me is very open about how they use their data. They absolutely commit to de-identifying data that's put in there. So as an example, when you log into Patients Like Me and become a member and you start to log your information, your personal information is separated from your medical information and they don't really mix it all. And what happens then is that we collect the medical information and create a bigger sense of what's going on, which is how we are able to help other patients.
Okay, so it does sound like there's a privacy, security there.
Absolutely, like none other.
Okay, that sounds good because that would be my biggest concern as an individual putting out my health information out on the internet.
Yeah, I can absolutely understand that. But like I said, if you go to patientslikeme.com and become a member, from one dad to all of the parents and other patients out there, I can tell you that I greatly appreciate it, and I know that I'm benefiting from it, doing the things that I need to do with my doctors every day.
Well, that sounds wonderful because I do know information. I'm a teacher, and more information is always better. As long as you can get accurate information, it helps with decision making. So I very much want to thank you for bringing this to light for my readers. It was something I was not aware of at all. And as my readers know, I'm all about giving. We have our 25 Days of Giving board set up in our kitchen, so my children are learning about giving, and it's something I work on every day as well. I was wondering about your book, Napkin Notes. If my readers were interested in finding out more about Napkin Notes, where can they go to find out about that?
Well, thank you very much for asking. You can go to any of the national websites like Amazon.com or BarnesandNoble.com, and quite a few of your locally owned bookstores have the book on their shelves as well. Thank you so much for asking that.
Sure. You're a wonderful inspiration. So between your napkin notes, you're fighting your cancer, living with cancer, building these connections with your family, understanding the importance of relationships. You really, truly are inspirational. So hopefully getting this word out will inspire others to look into and finding out more information and sign up to donating their
Yeah.
health data at patientslikeme.com.
Yes, thank you so much for chatting with me today.
Yes, have a wonderful day, Garth.
Thanks,
And
you
say
too.
hello to your daughter Emma for me.
Will do.